Hello, everyone. Welcome to my Facebook Live on a Thursday. I am taking tomorrow off as it being Christmas Eve. Let me get my comments here. Let me get all set up. This is the project we're going to be making today. It's pretty simple. I had a post a few days ago asking you what colors made you think of winter. A lot of people said blue. So I went with a blue card today, and we're going to be using the Artistically Inked Bundle. But before we get started, I just wanted to let you know too that I've had a lot of people, not a lot, well, a good amount of people shopping lately. If you would like a host code, go ahead and send me a message. I would be more than happy to create a host code for you. What a host code is when you reach $150 in purchases, you get Stampin' Rewards. So you don't have to do it all at once. You can, sorry, I'm trying to talk and do this at the same time. You can make a $50 order, a $20 order, whatever. The codes are good for 30 days. And then after that, I'll close out your host code and you get free product. It's that easy. So if you would like a host code created for you, go ahead and send me a message and we will get one all set up. Tara is on. Merry Christmas Eve. All right, we're all ready to go. So I'm going to show you how to make this card. And like I said, it's pretty simple, and that's the inside. I love this stamp set. And when I first saw it, I originally thought spring. This is in the annual catalog. We are going to be using a product that is retiring here in a week now. So the mini July to December catalog, the holiday catalog, is retiring next Friday. I think it's Friday. Maybe it's the 3rd. It might be the 3rd. Anyways, lots of stuff has already gone from that. So let's start with our stamping. I just have a scrap piece of basic white here, and I'm going to be using this flower stamp, this long watercolor stamp, and the leaves, and then the happy birthday. So 4 stamps from the set. I'm going to get them all out just so I'm ready and I don't miss anything. And for the flower, and the sentiment, I'm going to be using Misty Moonlight. Now, my Misty Moonlight is acting up, and there is ink all over it. So I'm going to try to be very careful with it and not get ink everywhere. Whoops. I already have some on my fingers, but it's okay. We are going to power through it. And then after this, I'm going to be cleaning up this ink pad. I don't know what's going on. So I'm using a D block for the flower. I'm going to use this bigger I block for our inky watercolory piece, and then a C block for the leaves, and then a H block for the sentiment. And I want to put my sentiment down on my grid paper just because I want it as even and straight as I possibly can get it. So on the scrap piece, I'm going to be using that little flower and Misty Moonlight, and I'm just tapping lightly and trying to get it all inked up. And then I'm going to be using Pool Party for the leaves. Hello, Mary. Merry Christmas. I've been baking and wrapping presents all day. My house is a mess. I've been trying to clean as I go, but you know how that is. So I'm done with the Pool Party. And then I have a piece of basic white that measures 3.5 by 1.25 inches. And that's what I'm going to stamp my sentiment on. So I'm just lining that up on my grid paper. And I'm going to go in with the Misty Moonlight. I'm trying not to touch it because there's ink all over this. I don't know what is going on with that Misty Moonlight. And I'm just trying to get it as centered and straight as possible. That looks good to me. I'm going to put, oh no, I'm not. I still have to use the Misty Moonlight. I'm just trying to get it out of here. So I have another piece of basic white that is 5 by 3 3/4, and I'm going to ink up this watercolor looking guy. I don't know what to call it. It's like a sploosh, if that's a word. And I'm just going right in the middle. You don't really have to worry about getting over here because we're covering that with some designer series paper. And then I have another piece that is 5 1/4 by 4. This is going to be our inside. So I'm going to ink that up again. And I'm just going to kind of stay in the corner here. Now I can put this away. I don't know what is going on with it, but there's ink all over. So I'm going to put this up so I don't get any more ink anywhere. Hopefully my fingers aren't too inky. And I'm just going to clean off my stamps quickly. We're done with stamping. We're going to move on to die cutting. So the Artistically Inked stamp set has dies that go along with it, the artistic dies, which I will be showing you momentarily. And this still has a little misty moonlight on it. Let's get that cleaned up. Then I can put my stamps away and show you the beautiful dies that come with this bundle. And like I said, normally I would think spring with this, but I wanted to make like a winter birthday card. People have birthdays in December and January, February. And around here, winter lasts a long time. I live in Michigan, so winter lasts sometimes into April around here. So here are the dies. These are the artistic dies. These are also in the annual catalog. And they're gorgeous. So this die is what I'll be using. This one is beautiful, but we're not using it today, but isn't that pretty? It cuts out that whole big thing and cuts out all the petals and everything. I'm going to be using this one for my flower, this one for my leaves. I already die cut this guy, so I'll show you him. And I put an adhesive sheet on the back there. So when I take the adhesive off, it makes it like a sticker, and all these little pieces should pop right out. We'll set that one aside. Set these pieces aside and grab my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm going to get my #1 platform. There's #1 on it. You see it. The #2 plate. The #3 cutting plate. And then I'm going to set down my paper on there and line up my dies. And this one does go a certain way. You can kind of just tell by looking. But if it helps, you can make a little mark with a pen on your stamp and then maybe use a Sharpie to make the same mark, and that way you can line them up easier every single time. And I hope these don't wobble too much. If you are worried about them being wobbly or messing them up, you can always use a piece of washi tape or a Post-it note. I'm going to live on the edge today and just run it through. And then it comes out the other side, and I drop the dies. And I have a flower and some leaves. And if I were die cutting my little leafy spriggy things, I would be running this through again, but since I've already cut them out, I'm just going to put that away. And now we're ready to assemble our card. So I have a pool party card base here. This is cut by 11 by 5 1/2, and it's, or by 4 1/4, excuse me. So it's 11 this way, 4 1/4 this way, scored at 5 1/2. I'm just going to take my bone folder and burnish that edge. And then I have a piece of Misty Moonlight that is 5 1/4 by 4. And our piece that we stamped on, the 5 by 3 3/4, is going to be layered on top of there. I have a piece of the Sweet Stockings designer series paper. So it's got these pretty Christmas lights on one side, but this side is just a pool party like plaid. I don't know how long this is though. Let me see. It is 5 inches by 1 inch. So I'm just going to grab my seal and get that to stop shaking. That one, I got to fix that one. That one came unraveled somehow. And just put it on those Christmas lights. I'm going to take this off because I have a feeling I might stick it to something. And the way I line this up is I just kind of meet the corners. Sometimes I get it perfect. Sometimes like that, I don't. But before you press it down, you have a little second to kind of move it. So that works. It's a little crooked, but it's okay. Nobody else will know that but me and you. So now I'm going to take off the backing of my adhesive sheet. So I didn't use a whole big piece. I like to save where I can. So there's going to be some of these I'm going to have to poke out. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm going to flip it back over. I'm going to take my paper piercer and just kind of poke these out. This part can be a little bit time consuming. I find it easier though using the adhesive sheets for this, just because it pulls off a lot of the little pieces. We also have a die brush tool for the take your pick tool, and that looks like this. That works better before you take the adhesive sheet off, because otherwise you have to kind of put it down to be able to use it. But this way works for me. I do love that though with the more intricate dies. I think I got all the pieces out. And I'm just going to lay that about like that. I don't want it to go too far off the edge. And not every leaf has adhesive on it, so it's not all going to stick down. And that's okay. Let me just get these little bits out of the way quickly, so I don't accidentally stick a little bit to something. Did I just throw away my leaves? Yes, I did. I threw them on the floor. Hang on. Got it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my sentiment, and I have a piece of Fool Party that is 1/4 inch larger than the sentiment was, which I think it was 3.5 by 1 1/4. So that would make this 3 3/4. Well, that's not right. That's okay. I already put seal on it. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm just going to put it down a little bit. Sometimes I don't measure correctly, and that's okay. I'm just taking a couple dimensionals. I'm going to cover that stem up. I'll do it that way. And then I'm going to put this down on my base, or on my Misty Moonlight piece. And then I'm going to take another dimensional and pop up, I can pick it up, pop up this flower and the leaves. I'm going to put the flower down first, about there. And then I'm going to take my leaves and I'm just going to kind of tuck them under. I'm going to get that cat hair off of there. And just kind of tuck them in. There. And then we can put it on the card base and put our inside piece in and put a little finishing touch on it. Take our inside. And then for the finishing touch here, I have the 2020 to 2022 in color square gems. I'm going to grab Misty Moonlight, and I just kind of turned it on its side there to make it look almost like a diamond. So this card is slightly different, but most of my cards are. I never make the same card twice. But here they're both again. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday weekend. If you would like to see me live again, I will be live Monday in my VIP group. The link to join the VIP group is in the description of this video. So I hope you all have a fabulous holiday, and I will see you all again on Monday. Thanks so much for watching.